Okay, good morning, welcome to the Airbus A310. We're landing VOR runway 10 with the X-ray approach at Princess Juliana at Sint Maarten International Airport. Islands ahead inside us there, and what we're doing is an overlaid approach. So this time we are essentially going to be flying the GPS fixes here with a calculated descent profile. So the way that works is you go to TO approach, and basically if you enter your minimum descent altitude, you then get a little prompt here that says final app 3.00. So it calculates a 3-degree glide path from the final fix according to the chart. So in that case it's FF10. So basically we have to do a navigation, as we're on nav right now. So we do nav until the whole time, we just stay in nav basically. And we're going to descend down to the fix height, so that's going to be 1,600 at FF10. Just going to set my flaps out now as we go below 180. Arm the speed brakes. I've got my auto brakes ready up. Gear is in the neutral position. Seatbelt signs are on, no smoking is on, and landing lights are extended. So we're descending now down to 1,600 by FF10. So I'm just going to use the vertical speed to control that for now. We need to be levelled off before then, and what we're going to do is engage profile, and that should then mean once we're in the altitude hold, when we actually get to final fix 10, this VDEV will go down to 0, and we should then have a profile descent with a 3-degree glide path from the final fix. I'm just going to set the local QNH and find out what that is. I'm not using real time as it is the middle of the night right now, so it's 1014. So let's set 1014. There you go, 1014 set. But it's the middle 1014, so 2996. So you can see I'm using the descent planner here basically to get the arc between the two. So I need to be 2,600 above. So actually I'm going to do altitude hold. I can't actually descend below 26. So that's going to have to be captured, and after Uluba I'm going to descend down to 16, and I'm going to make sure that at that point I am fully configured, so that's another fact that we need to consider. So we're about 15 miles to touchdown, 16.60 ME I think. Where's the progress page? We automatically tuned PJM, which is Princess Juliana, so the VOR is tuned here, 1 and 2, that's 16 DME, so that's what we're going to use for our distance. We're going to keep 2,600 until passing this waypoint at Luba, as that's the constraint there, and then we're going to descend down further. So we're just going to hold the altitude for now. I'm going to set flaps 2, so 15. So it's similar, it's very similar to the Airbus A320, except rather than all of this being automated, this is like the kind of bare bones of the system. So this is what the automation is doing, while all you have to do is press I want to descend and go on to final lap, blah blah blah. So we actually have to tell the plane, now I want to do a final approach course, this is where I want to start my final approach. Well, it does actually know that, it knows that it's the final fix, is where we start that. I'm going to set 160 knots, flaps 3. 2020. It's a gorgeous plane. I mean, we've got, like, this is the insanity of it, right? If I go into this cabin, have a seat somewhere. Let's say I have a seat here, right? I'm gonna have a seat behind this one actually. A nice window seat. I need a nice, oh, that's a rubbish window seat. That's a good window seat. There we go, we could go in a window seat, so I'm looking out the window there, but also we've got a whole thing here, and this actually updates according to your thing, so your actual air data, so you can actually kind of basically be a passenger. I'm just going to close the door down, back in here, lock the door, blah blah blah. So, Uluba is in 1.0 miles, I'm going to request 1,600. As soon as we get to Uluba 0.3, I'm going to press that button. Level change. descending now 1600. We're going to intercept that altitude, and you can see that that's going to get us there just before. So just going to go up to the takeoff approach pace. We're 700 below profile. We're now descending well below it again. That's fine again. So we need to be below the profile because that profile is only going to be interceptable from this point here. Can't intercept that profile any earlier. Probably we can, but it doesn't seem to work very well. To go, let's arm profile. Can't arm profile. Once we're at altitude hold, we'll arm profile. PDES, there we go, we've armed PDES. Gonna put the gear down now. Final approach speed, flaps full. So you have to be fully configured before the final approach if you're doing this method. That's the only caveat. There you go, runways ahead. There's VDEV coming down now. PDES is armed. So what should now happen is we should actually start a descent on that profile. So if not, we'll just go to manual flying and descend on it anyway. Okay, 0.7 miles to final fix, 0.6. There we go. PDES is now engaged. The aircraft's going to start pinching down, and we're going to try and maintain this profile here that we've calculated. Is about 700 feet per minute. As you can see, we're now holding that. That's good. Right, we'll find if this has worked. Hasn't worked before. Get out 3 greens, full flaps. On profile, slightly high, 40 above. So we can see our vertical deviation here, 50 above. So it's just trying to get that back. That's what we see this descent here now. So we're just going to monitor that now, and when we get to minimums, we're going to proceed with manual landing. Speed, so that's the profile speed, which is 134-ish. The only thing is we do have to turn off auto thrust before landing. So go, there's the runway ahead. I can see my PAPI. I can see 1 right, 3 red, so I'm actually a little bit low. And it's calculated to be slightly up, so that's okay, that's minimums. That's why it's done that. The flight path angle just to set roughly 3 degrees. Got a wind from the left ahead. Do one of those classic YouTube approaches. Touchdown. So important when you do this RNAV overlay approach, yes, below minimums, the autopilot will seem to just turn itself off, and you have to do manual thrust on landing, so make sure you disengage auto throttle. well, you can also do it when the autopilot disconnects, so that gives you better situational awareness of what the throttle's actually doing. Just manual braking a bit jerkily there. Safely landed. Let's retract the spoilers. I'm going to brake and do a turnaround in this point here. That wouldn't be there in reality. Flaps up. So yeah, when the autopilot disengaged I wasn't prepared for that, so I should have been monitoring my minimums more closely. That was 1,000 something 100 feet. Yeah, so it's 1,020 I think it was, and that's when it pretty much disengaged. Normally you get an approaching minimums. Or decide. Approaching decision height. Yeah, so next time we do disengage the autopilot before we've set our minimum descent altitude. Those quite high minimums. We're KLM 605 today. Taxi, landing lights retract. To make sure we're on the centre line, as that guarantees us clearance to these things here. Yes, that's a VOR overlay approach. A few little things that you need to kind of keep care of, which I obviously didn't entirely. As you saw there, we were slightly low, so I estimate that the QNH potentially had us estimating slightly higher than we really were, which, now that I've just pressed B, looks like that might have been the case. We were about 20 to 30 feet too low the whole time, which makes about 1 degree on the PAPI. Not 1 degree, 1 light of the PAPI doesn't show up then. Based on this, which is quite crazy. I haven't turned on the APU yet, so I'm just going to slowly do that and then leave the flight as it is really. So probes can go off, taxi lights off, envelope will stay on. Just wait for the air. The old APU to start up and then I'll shut down the engines, but let's have a look at the landing rate. So if we can whiz over to where we are, that was 218 feet per minute at 1.05 G. Just before touchdown marker with an annoyingly low final approach. Yep. Bit of fluctuations there. So that 3 degree hold is not perfect, don't trust it entirely. And that's the other thing, it calculates a 3.0, and if you look on the approach charts, in this case it is 3.0, but the issue is some approaches are not, and it doesn't account for that, so you can't put 3.5 in there, for example, for San Diego, in which case you have to revert to the old school way of doing things, which is using the chart. So if I open up Navigraph, where's Navigraph? There's Navigraph. Okay, if I open up Navigraph and we pop out the VOR X-ray approach runway 10, so there you go, you can see that there. And if we zoom in, you have a ground speed knots, descent angle 3 degrees, and it tells you the speeds to be using vertical speed. So basically, worst case scenario is you get to this descent point and you put in this vertical speed and use that to descend. So I've got a video from San Diego maybe coming. It's very bad performance though, as it's full photogrammetry. I flew from LAX to San Diego, full photogrammetry and scenery, and it just destroys the frames, especially on short final and landing. But yeah, so that's what you would do. And actually, yeah, below 1040, the autopilot just went, nope, not doing it anymore. So that's why that happened. Anywho, APU's available, engines can go off. Yeah, no, we can connect all the jetways and stuff. GPU, jetway, ASU. GPU available, external power off. Velkommen to Sint Maarten.